Don't let it rain on me. Meghan digs out an umbrella as fans give her a posy after she and Harry enjoy a Guinness at Belfast's iconic Crown pub on their first official visit to Northern Ireland. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have made a surprise trip to Belfast as part of their pre-wedding tour of Britain. Belfast crowds were given the shock of their lives as the pair arrived unannounced in Northern Ireland, before going on a walkabout in the city centre and visiting the iconic Crown Liquor Saloon. They waved to the ecstatic crowds before heading inside the major landmark where they met bar staff, local musicians and had an Irish stew lunch, including a tutorial on how to pull the perfect pint of Guinness. The royal couple have now arrived at the Titanic Belfast visitor attraction on the final engagement of their day in the city. Titanic Belfast tells the story of the liner, from its conception in Belfast in the early 1900s, through to the construction, launch and subsequent sinking in April 1912. More than 1,500 lives were lost after the ship struck an iceberg on its maiden voyage from Southampton to New York. Earlier in the day, the pair greeted stunned onlookers as they made their way inside the Econ Exhibition Centre in Lisbon, surprising a huge crowd of unsuspecting children as they arrived inside the building. They received a rapturous reception from youngsters as they entered the huge performance arena, the former site of the Maze paramilitary prison where 10 Irish Republicans starved themselves to death. Prince Harry praised the youth-led peace-building initiative called Amazing the Space, and hinted to the turbulent history of Northern Ireland, declaring, "Over the years religion has divided us but we're all the same underneath." The royal trip, the couple's first official joint trip to Northern Ireland, will also see them learn the history of the doomed Titanic, when they visit a Belfast visitor attraction telling the passenger ship's story. Arriving at their third engagement of the day, at a hub for young entrepreneurs, the couple waved at well-wishers who had braved the rain to catch a glimpse of the royal visitors. Inside the Catalyst Inc. facility in part of Belfast's regenerated docklands, they were greeted by a number of dignitaries, including Lord Mayor Nuala McAllister and East Belfast MP Gavin Robinson. Harry and Meghan touched down in Northern Ireland for an unannounced visit that follows on from high-profile trips to other parts of the UK. They have been touring Britain ahead of their May wedding and the prince will introduce his fiancée to Ulster during a series of events. In keeping with royal visits to Northern Ireland, details were not released in advance and the itinerary was not disclosed for security reasons. Ms. Markle wore a cream coat by Mackage, a dark green dress by Greta Constantine, a cream top by Victoria Beckham, tobacco heels by Jimmy Choo. The prince and Ms. Markle had a private lunch in a romantic booth at the Crown Liquor Saloon, one of the oldest bars in Belfast. The prince ordered sausage and champ while his fiancée tucked into the pub's signature Irish stew. They ordered half a pint of Guinness and half of the local Mourne Mountain Brewery Gold Ale to taste along with their soft drinks, after asking to sample the local beer. They were also promised an early wedding present, bespoke spades made by the man who has provided personal spades for the Queen and Prince Charles. Speaking about its popularity with tourists, he added, "It's on people's bucket lists, isn't it? Does it take quite a lot of work to keep it looking like this? We're very excited to be here," said Meghan, disclosing the couple had been looking at the menu ahead of time. The prince, who was keen to talk about the weekend's rugby, asked what the pub had put on for Saturday night, asking incredulously, "You don't show sports here?" Andy Dickinson, general manager, said, "It's been a great day. We've all really enjoyed it. There's always a bit of nervousness in the build-up, but it's great that we've been able to showcase the Crown and Northern Ireland. I'm really pleased they chose to visit us. They seem to know a lot about the Crown, and were really glad to be a little part of their wedding build-up." Peter Sheridan, chief executive of event host Cooperation Ireland, welcomed the special visitors and said the youth-led initiative was integral to the development of a peaceful society in Northern Ireland. To have so many young people in one place proactively speaking out in favor of peace and committing to living their lives through peaceful means can only bode well for society. And to have the royal family here to witness it makes it even more powerful, he said. Harry grinned and looked at Meghan as they walked to the front and took their seats among the school children, where they enjoyed a long video presentation with dancing, singing and speeches. Pupil Ryan McCallion, 17, who welcomed the couple to the exhibition center, and later chatted to Harry and Meghan, was impressed. He said, "They were so humble and down to earth. I felt they'd be up on this pedestal, but they brought us together and made us feel almost equal. They were really interested in what we were doing. Compared to what our parents have gone through, it's easier for the younger generation. But we don't see religion or race or color as a barrier, but a welcome." The couple are on the latest leg of a tour of the UK that has already taken them to major centres like Edinburgh, Cardiff and Birmingham. In a statement, Kensington Palace said, Prince Harry and Ms. Meghan Markle are visiting Belfast today for their first official joint visit to Northern Ireland. Throughout the day, Prince Harry and Ms. Markle will have the opportunity to meet members of the public, to learn how young people are shaping the future of Northern Ireland, and to visit some of the city's most loved sites. Later in the afternoon, at the nearby campus of Northern Ireland's Next Generation Science Park, Catalyst Inc., Ms. Markle and Harry met some of Ulster's brightest young entrepreneurs and innovators. Their day will end with a tour of Titanic Belfast, which tells the story of the ship, from her conception in Belfast in the early 1900s, through her construction and launch, to the vessel's maiden voyage and infamous sinking. The US actress began her UK tour with Harry in Nottingham a few days after their engagement announcement at the end of November last year. In Brixton, the historic home of London's Caribbean community, Meghan and Harry visited a local community centre. Then they travelled to Cardiff, with the US actress getting an introduction to Welsh culture. Edinburgh welcomed the couple who visited the city's historic castle, and they also toured Birmingham. Harry visited Northern Ireland last November when he opened a new ambulance station in Ballymena, County Antrim, and also visited Belfast and Hillsborough Castle, County Down. Harry and Meghan's official wedding china revealed, and it features gold monogrammed initials and a pattern inspired by the chapel where they'll say their vows. The Royal Collection Trust has unveiled the official range of commemorative china celebrating Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's wedding. Cornflower blue with white detailing. The collection features a gold monogram of the couple's initials side by side, tied together with a white ribbon and surmounted by Harry's coronet. The decorative border on each piece is inspired by the couple's wedding venue. It is based on the stylized tree ironwork of the 13th century Gilibertus door of St. George's Chapel, Windsor Castle, where the couple will marry on the 19th of May. When Harry and Ms. Markle's choice of wedding venue was announced, the Prince's communications secretary described Windsor as a very special place for Harry, and said that the couple had regularly spent time there together during their whirlwind romance. Harry and his American fiancée will have approved the fine bone china range by the Royal Collection Trust, which includes a miniature coffee mug costing £19.95, a standard coffee mug for £25, a pillbox at £35, a tankard for £39 and a plate at £49. The Gilibertus door is rarely used, though hundreds of tourists and visitors to the chapel pass by it every day. The Queen and other members of the royal family use it to enter the chapel when attending some services at St. George's, such as at Easter. Its ironwork is in the form of a stylized tree and, unusually for a work of its time, bears a name plus Gilibertus. The door is one of the few surviving parts of the earliest chapel at Windsor Castle. The official china, which is finished in 22-karat gold, has been handmade in Stoke-on-Trent using 250-year-old methods and techniques. All profits from sales go to the Royal Collection Trust, the registered charity responsible for the care and conservation of the Royal Collection. The souvenirs are presented in a cornflower blue gift box with a special card explaining the significance of the design. Nuala McGatty, Royal Collection Trust's retail director, said, Royal Collection Trust is delighted to offer the official range of commemorative china to celebrate this happy occasion. We are pleased to continue our support of the potteries of Stoke-on-Trent, who have manufactured our previous commemorative wares to celebrate royal birthdays, anniversaries and weddings. The china can be purchased from Royal Collection Orguk Shop and in Royal Collection Trust shops at the Queen's Gallery, Buckingham Palace, Windsor Castle and the Palace of Holyrood House. Time to check the letterbox. Meghan and Harry's wedding invites printed in American ink on English card are revealed as they are sent out to 600 lucky guests ahead of the ceremony at Windsor. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have finally sent out the 600 invitations to their eagerly anticipated May wedding after months of fevered anticipation. Some 600 guests will attend Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's wedding service at St. George's Chapel before they all make their way to a lunchtime reception at St. George's Hall, which is being given by the Queen. Later that evening, 200 guests are invited to the private reception at Frogmore House given by the Prince of Wales. The invitation stipulates a strict dress code with men asked to don military uniform, likely to be worn by Harry, a former soldier who is now Captain General of Royal Marines, or a morning coat and lounge hat, with women asked to wear a day dress and hat.